Well, hello there, everybody, and welcome to Ultimate General American Revolution. Another one from Maxim, Nick, and the guys. This is looking absolutely awesome. Now, I do want to warn you guys, this is in early access, so there's still a lot to come. There's still a lot of things that they're going to be adding, but we're going to jump in and take a look right now. There are some great skirmish battles or historical battles from the war that I'd love to show off, but I think today we're going to jump right into the campaign. So initially, you can only choose this. I was born in a family of successful plantation owners, and I believe essentially the first one is kind of trying to recreate George Washington, but I'm sure that in time you'll be able to create your very own general. And as you can see, George Washington is already there, but we're going to go ahead and we are going to name ourselves an extremely accurate name for the time, Agrippa Maxentius. We'll take it. So again, much like the previous Ultimate General Gettysburg, you've got to kind of build, or excuse me, Ultimate General Civil War, you've got to kind of build up your general. And I'm going to say I've learned how to keep everyone engaged. I love this art style too. Really, really well done. Plantation management and financial matters became part of my daily routine. So let's say I was always trying to find ways to help my workers accomplish their tasks more effectively. That's going to increase the command aura of our general once we actually get into a fight. And let's say I realize that the worst will always happen. A very pessimistic Agrippa Maxentius. Let's say that. How you doing, Bostova? Thank you for the lurk. Do appreciate that. In part due to my organizational talents, tensions over control of the Ohio River Valley eventually sparked the French and Indian War. I was able to apply my skilled management. And this is actually very true. So a lot of American Revolution participants, both on the British and American side, fought together in the French and Indian War. I inspired my soldiers with a speech. I want to boost that willpower. Our endurance isn't fantastic, but we'll take it. Succeeded in driving out the French. My attempts to secure a commission in the army were thwarted by English officers with little respect for my abilities, so I decided to resign. My next steps were actively involved in local politics. I ran for and was elected to the Virginia House of Burgesses. In 1774, I was elected as a delegate to the First Continental Congress in Philadelphia. There I helped secure. Let's do an additional cache of weapons to arm our troops. Since we had our past in plantation ownership, we've got some money to throw around. And there we go, guys. It begins. The fight for independence is on. So here we go. Agrippa Maxentius. We can, of course, choose a portrait. I like that. Not many, though. In time, I'm sure they'll add more. I'm going to choose this rotund fellow. And we're going to stick with normal. And let's begin. The Little Strokes Fell Great Oaks line makes me laugh because it was in a series called Northmen, but it's actually originally used by Benjamin Franklin, and the series was set in Viking time, so I just think that's pretty funny. So we've got two regiments initially, and you can see, by the way, the portraits, beautifully done. The actual portrait look kind of reminds me of Agiot's. We've got the city of Hartford under our control, or the town of Hartford, and several regiments under our command. Right now, you can see over here, they do have a perk. So I'm going to give them an endurance course. We're going to apply that. And over here for Harrison, I am going to give him a discipline training. So we're going to do that and just make sure that these guys are somewhat strong. Again, just two regiments. That's not much to contend with. We want to get more, of course. But we're going to move to Leicester here. And hopefully at Leicester, there'll be additional colonial troops that will want to join our cause. That is the goal, of course, is to get them to join and to take out these British locations. Now, look at this. The battles of Lexington and Concord have begun, and we need to either allow them to occur or we need to fight in the battle ourselves. And I'm going to actually fight in the battles of Lexington and Concord. Now, I want to let you guys know, for you history buffs out there, this battle is not correct. Let's put it that way. So basically, the real battles of Lexington and Concord, the actual setup that you see here is correct, where there was one line of American militia just kind of holding their place. But they basically fired on the British, took a bunch of shots, broke, and ran. In this version of the battle, a little more like the movie The Patriot, we've got a bunch of different colonial groups arriving to the location, and actually, that part is kind of accurate, because there were men arriving to Lexington that did not arrive in time. That may or may not have actually, used their arms to fight the British. Nonetheless, we need to hold this area and stop the British from taking this arms depot, because without these weapons, a revolution cannot begin. It's that simple. So we've got our guys heading up to the front there. I don't want them to really break off much. I'm going to grab this fellow, and I'm actually going to put him right there in the forest. This guy, I am going to fall back with him and have him hang out right there near the farm. So we just want our colonists in the best defensive position possible, and look at that British horde on the way, man. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. Get the 138 over here. I want them up, but I was going to put them in a defensive position. I might actually just have them in the woods here to provide additional support. And we do have men arriving. There are going to be men arriving from multiple plantations all throughout the fight. Here we go. Right, they're in position. Yep, the British are getting here. Let them have it, boys. All right, it begins, of course, with that charge. They're breaking right through the men. So I think we are going to have to grab this group right here. And we're going to put them right there. I really wanted to take over the forest, but I think the British are going to be grabbing that. They just have so many men. So at this point, we're just simply going to defend that area. We should have additional Patriots arriving to help defend, additional Minutemen. And there we go. The maiden Minutemen over here have been shattered. But we're going to continue to fight with our existing men over here by this farmhouse. And hopefully we can really put the hurting on the enemy. And look at that, guys. More men have arrived. Additional manpower. We're going to keep pushing forward. The goal, of course, is to hold this area right here. So let's keep that in mind. Bring these guys over to that location, and let's hope that our men can just hold out here a long time. Don't surrender, boys. Can already see a few British soldiers dead on the field, but, this is very early in the war. In fact, the first battle of the war, and our men are not, well-trained. They're not well-equipped. They're just kind of taking whatever Brown Bess musket is lying around that they were using for farm work before, and they're using it now against British troops. So the casualty count is realistic with not a lot of Brits dropping, but we're going to keep that fire going. And as you can see, they are going to take that forest position. I know if this was Ultimate General Civil War, I would have turned this into a hornet's nest, but we're using old school muskets here, so we've got to fight a little bit differently. There they go, charging right in to take this farm location from us. There's going to be some hand-to-hand combat, that's for sure. And look at that. Additional troops arriving from the south, too. I'm pushing them right up here. This guy's going into position. Beautiful. I wouldn't mind taking another unit and just kind of putting him right here to harass the enemy a little bit more. So let's do this. We're going to put him there. We're going to put him here. If we could get a flanking shot on the enemy, that would be huge. How you doing, Charles Anderson? Warpig, how you doing? And here we go. Like I said, for those of you arriving, this is early access, but it's looking beautiful. It really is. We'll hold there. Might have been better just to have broken, but I'll hold for now. Get those men into position. Let's see if we've got any more arriving. We do, in a large group of 175. Going to try to bring them right up the road here. And yeah, unfortunately, our men are not going to hold out, even in those wooded positions right now. We need to hold at the farm. I don't think there's any other way. We've got a massive group of Brits arriving. All right, here we go. Let them have it, boys. They broke very quickly. All right, here we go. We've got the 175 group arriving. I'm just going to have them begin firing from this location. Enemies trying to go for a flank here, so I'd love to get some reinforcements. And I believe we are getting some. And we're going to try and counter that flank. So we'll kind of bring the reinforcements over here. It looks like actually our guys are already firing at them too. That's it, boys. Keep them under fire for America. That's the important part. And they are definitely massing up for a charge pretty soon. Need to keep throwing those rounds down range and work on the enemy numbers here. You see they're spreading out, though. The AI is not bad at all. They're definitely going for the advantage. And again, I want to try to counter that. Yep, they're going for the charge. Must say, though, the Arlington militia was very brave until the end. But now, of course, the enemy is charging these locations. That's why we need to get there quickly with these reinforcements and retake the locations, essentially. More men arriving as well. Additional reinforcements to help us out in our plight. Our fight for independence. Where do those bastards go? Right, they're going to show up anytime. So I think first group, since the enemy is already there, I will begin firing almost immediately. Why is it switching? Why did it switch? Let them have it, boys. And I want to send this guy right over. Again, we need to get into those defensive positions. We could still put a fight up over here, but we need to try and grab the farm. Wouldn't mind actually just giving them one volley there. Let's give them one volley with this unit too. All right, I love those reinforcements. As you can see, though, the British have taken this location. So what we're going to do, we're going to work our way right in there. Just going to give them all the fire we can. There's going to be some friendly fire for sure, but it's a sacrifice we're willing to make. Let's put it that way. Keep on going. Come on, come on. I'm going to try and bring in this group over here. We've got some additional forces arriving here. A force of 250. A bunch of Patriots coming in from all areas of the map. And again, close combat is occurring right there. We need it to continue. We can't let up. Even this group of Needham militiamen are going to be helpful in just hitting the enemy in the flank, and a lot more British soldiers are dropping there, that's for sure. How close can you zoom? Great question. Let's see. Right now, I don't think the zoom is too crazy. This is pretty much as close as we can get. I'll zoom all the way out, and this is all the way in. But even with Ultimate General Civil War, they did improve that zoom before the game came out. So I would suspect, don't quote me on this, but I would suspect they're going to do something similar. All right, here we go. These are the guys that are going to have to retake that farm. Let's go, boys. I'm going to move these guys up, of course, to provide some additional fire support. Let's hit them in the flank where it hurts. Maybe that's good enough right there with the 250. And with this 250, I'm going straight for that location. Same with the 129. We're marching right into the enemy lines. Can't stop now.
Take the 69. We'll march into the enemy lines as well. The same with any of the men that have retreated from the battle itself. Look at that. Our 183 is actually breaking through. We just routed, but they did a damn good job breaking a few British regiments there. And you can see all of the dead Brits over here. I also love that, of course, we've got wounded commanders, generals, etc. It's such a nice touch in games like this when you can see that level of detail. Send this guy right through. And there we go. The fight begins, man. Talk about bayonet fighting here. Our Patriots are not giving up that easily. We are pushing through. Fire. I'm going to get rid of that unit. Even at the risk of hitting our own men. There we go. We've routed another British unit. I will take that. And a massive group arriving, guys. Again, in the actual battles of Lexington and Concord, this never occurred, right? You never had this massive amount of colonial troops. But I like that in this game, it gives you a chance to kind of fight the battle your way and, you know, have a little additional support. Let's put it that way. And so far, the enemy is still holding that frontal line. We do have some men behind, but we need to get some more men there if we want to win the battle. Actually, I see that group of 82. I'll bring them in. The men are exhausted. Let's see who's fighting over here. The Billerica militiamen. Where is Billerica? Maybe Virginia? All right, pushing through. We can never stop. We've got to keep the momentum going. So with our larger units here, the 250s, I am forcing them on through. The rest of these guys, however, and even this 250 can try and start working on the enemy flanks. Same with this guy. I want to get him close, and I just want him firing on the enemy. Try and keep the focus away from our main group of men. But I'm loving the look of the battles. Now, this particular battle doesn't have any artillery, but beautiful nonetheless. No worries. Here we go. Come on. You can do it, boys. In fact, I'm going to take this 71, and I am going to move him into that location, too. Watch the friendly fire. All right, we're going to move the 250 in. There's definitely friendly fire occurring. I'd rather charge. And I just want to keep the enemy occupied with these units. So I'm going to go ahead and push forward and just engage any stragglers. Don't give up, boys. Again, these men are not trained, so they're not going to be as battle-hardened as the Brits. Fire. As you can see, we've got a large group falling back here. So we're going to bring them back. I'm going to give them a little time to rest. And then we're sending them in once again. It's all down to these guys over here. They are going to need to save the battle for us. Let's go. Give it right back to him, lads. I have to say, the tree line there is not doing us any favors. But I'm going to hold these units here for now. I don't know why they're not firing this unit, at least. Let's focus on these guys right here. With the enemy taking the tree line, we need to get in there and take it back. And I'm not sure why it automatically sets you up that way. It's a bit strange. But here we go. Moving in. The battle continues. Of course, the battles of Lexington and Concord were losses for the Revolutionary Army. So that's why you see the Brits doing pretty damn well here. I mean, these are trained soldiers against essentially farm workers, farm laborers, etc. Some some plantation owners, but usually those are the ones in command. Fire. We're drawing the battle out a bit, which I don't like, but we don't have much of a choice. I'm going to get right up close and personal with these guys. Charge. Oh, yeah. You see how quickly we break? We just don't have the morale right now to face them in a frontal assault. They've got bayonets. We're basically using our weapons as clubs. Fire. I do think it's admirable, though, that our men fought to the very end there. The Westford militia going down to like 16 before shattering. Fire! We need some of our men to make our shots. I'm not sure if it's because General Percy Walker is there with them, but it looks like it's just taking a long time to kill any of them. But again, you know, true to the actual battle itself. I think the casualties on the British side were like 75 or something. It was nothing significant, you know. Fire. Love to break Percy. So let's actually try to do that. I'm just going to focus fire on him. Oh, they are going straight for the charge. You got to be kidding me. That's rough. Okay, let's hope we can hold it. I am going to send my men in right there. As you can see, they rout our men very quickly. I think that's a little less believable, just how quickly they went for that charge. Even over here, 53 of them. We should win this charge, but... Yep, we did win it over here. Think I'm going to make my way right into the fort. Or go for some flanking fire here on the enemy. I think that's what the commander is going to do. Probably not a bad idea, especially since the enemy is now turning towards us. We would not make it to the fort before getting devastating flanking fire. Just wouldn't occur. Let's see what's going on over here. Got a few guys, like, way over here in the woods. Again, I didn't anticipate winning this fight, but I would have liked one more assault there. I think we could have maybe broken through. Again, maybe not. Maybe not. The battles of Lexington and Concord are not supposed to be won. That's for sure. Fire. See, not sure why they're not firing. I was initially thinking they're loading, but they've taken a while to load, so maybe we need to kind of push them on through. Still going to try to be cheeky and send these guys through, but I don't think it'll work. All right, the Lincoln militia is still headed on through. Maybe we can break the deadlock here and just grab the fort. Capture that magazine, boys. Looks like our guys did eventually start firing, though those Brits are quite strong, man. Going down to 34 men from 100 and something. I'm impressed. I am impressed. We've definitely bled the British dry today, but they are going to end up winning this fight, unless this guy can pull off a miracle. The Lincoln Militia. They are falling back, though, and again, I think that's very good, like, very responsive AI. Because the second we started going for the town, they're like, nope, we're not going to let you do that, and they came straight for us. So I think that is quite nice. But as you can see, almost it's like, okay, so I wonder if we finish right here, the contested magazine, I like this system. So essentially we have to hold this, I believe, for 10 seconds, and it's a lot longer than 10 seconds. Maybe something like 2 or 3 minutes before it's officially ours. Then if we ended the battle, I think we would hold it. But I already see them sending guys back. It's a bit of a cheap way to win, and we can actually use the fast forward feature here, which is available to us in-game. This will really test the AI, because if they don't take the main location and let us just finish the battle, that wouldn't be very nice. Yeah, they're going to grab it. So that's the way it should be. We will finish right there. And, a what? Needlerich? Okay, I have no idea what that is. Anyway, here are the casualties and losses, guys, for both sides. Very believable for the battle itself. Again, I think in the actual battles of Lexington and Concord, the British only lost like 70 men. Maybe not even that. But nonetheless, a really fun little fight. And once again, you can go into the actual individual units, get exact casualty numbers, exact kill numbers, and the status of the unit itself. So how much damage it withstood. I really like it. I like that little element of it. It's a nice touch. Of course, you've got those large battles, which you will be asked to participate in. You don't have to. And then you'll have these smaller battles or larger battles, depending on your army, that you are going to, of course, encounter yourself. Sorry, guys. We had a little crash. That is one of the unfortunate elements of a very, very early access game. So we're just going to open her on up. And I think what we'll look at now, maybe one of the battles. So we're going to jump into skirmish battles, guys. And as you can see, a bunch of different battles from the American Revolution. Camden, Brandywine, Monmouth. Gray's Raid, not sure what this is. I think, is this the raid to capture the Hessian garrison? It might be. And of course, we've got some naval battles here. So I haven't actually taken a look at the naval battles. A little afraid to. But do you guys want to see a land battle or do you want to see a naval battle? Should we go for the Bloody Fields or Monmouth, or should we go for the grand prize? I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see both, to be honest with you. And like I said, the battles are optional within the campaign. When I say the battles are optional, like the major battles, you know, Ticonderoga, all that stuff, you can kind of just do your own thing, fight where you want, etc. Let's see. Maybe we'll just flip a coin here. Land, says Bostova. Fair enough. All right, in that case, let's go for Saratoga Springs. British General John Burgoyne led an invasion army from Quebec to gain control of the Upper Hudson Valley. The British reached the Upper Hudson as early as the end of July, but soon met logistical and supply difficulties. Burgoyne needed to reach defensible winter quarters, so he had to decide if we will retreat back to Fort Ticonderoga or advance to Albany. So yeah, I've always known this as the Battle of Fort Ticonderoga, but neither here nor there. Let's jump in. Now, another thing is I see a lot of natives in this art, and it's making me wonder, is there a French and Indian War DLC planned? That would be incredible. General Daniel Morgan's riflemen advanced to Freeman's Farm near Saratoga Springs, where they spotted advanced elements of the British Army and have engaged them. Fair enough. Reinforcements immediately dispatched to support Morgan. More men are on the way and will soon arrive. Our scouts have spotted German mercenaries moving into this area. Oh my goodness, Hessians. With more elements of Burgoyne's army also spotted moving in this direction. Oh boy. So guys, we need to attack and defeat the British army. Not just defend, we need to actually attack and defeat them here at the farm. I am going to employ my strategy that I use in Ultimate General Civil War, which is pretty good, which is kind of creating little hornet's nests. We just want to fill these tree lines with our men. And just fire away. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to bring this guy up as well. He's just going to be kind of additional support. Give him hell. I can see some of the Hessians on the field already. They are clad in green. Fire. And as you can see, guys, the units we're using for this battle are not just militia. These are regulars. And you can see the difference even in the way they fire. They're firing those full volleys, whereas with the militia, you just get like little sputters of fire. You know, they're basically firing at will. But here, the men are firing appropriately. I absolutely love this. So let's move up right there. I want to get a nice flanking shot on the Germans if I can. Looks like they're going to try to run away. Again, decent move by the AI. They immediately got out of there to avoid the flanking shot. But I want to get in that tree line. Now we'll fire. And actually, we'll focus just on the British regulars. For independence, boys! And now we can see some actual damage being done. Again, a big difference with the regulars versus the militia. They're not expecting us to have any support. We're going to move that support through the woods, and we are going to start engaging that unit. Give them hell. Leveling those muskets, and there we go. So far, we're just holding that tree line. A nice batch of reinforcements would be very helpful, but our actual goal is to capture Freeman's Farm. So what I want to do now is bloody the enemy as much as possible before they fall back, and I am hoping they will fall back. We've got one unit here, the marksmen, that are not doing much. We need to pull them out over here and begin engaging. Come on, lads. Emmanuel Jefferson, any relation to Thomas Jefferson? There's a lot of Lees, too, and I do believe they do bear a relation to Robert E. Lee. Quite a lot of his family fought in the American Revolution. Fire! Unfortunately, getting in the way of the other marksmen. So maybe we should bring these marksmen over here. I think they'll be more useful. All right, not bad. One of those units is starting to break. Starting to falter a bit. And I don't want to stop firing on them. If anything, I'll even follow them to continue the fire. Don't want them coming back. And there we go. General Poor has sent his men to join us. Not familiar with General Poor, but thank you. Fantastic. Let's see where they are. It's going to take them a little while to arrive, but they are on the way. We're going to need them on that right flank. And actually, I'm glad I brought the marksmen over here, too. Because we can use them over here against that unit. They're in the open. They're not in the tree line. I can make it all the way to the tree line and fire, but I think I'm just going to hold my position. These guys are damn fine shots. So I actually think they'll excel out in the open. Fire! General Gates. All right, I'm sending Poor's men forward, but it also looks like those British are getting reinforcements. Actually, I think the 73 might just be the unit that fled and is returning. I just want to really bloody them and make sure that those numbers are of no consequence to us. So again, we want to put a lot of fire on that unit. We want to put a lot of fire on those German mercenaries right there. But you know what? I'll settle for just hitting this unit and trying to knock it out of commission. Got 3 different units now laying down a volley of musket fire. They're gonna have to break soon. There we go, guys. We've got some artillery, too. And what I'm gonna do is just kind of set up like that. Advance through the woods, of course. There we go. Not bad, guys. We broke the 55. I'm going to wheel back around with this unit. In fact, or maybe, you know what? Maybe we just take this force. Let's force the enemy to play by our rules, and we're going straight for the farm. It's a little more of a frustrating approach for the enemy, but I think that'll work in our favor. Might need to leave 1 unit behind to hold off the enemy, and sure enough, some of their guys are returning to the fight, so we'll just have to keep the fight going here. But I like forcing the enemy to play by our rules. What? Those must be the Germans. What's that orange? Does anybody recognize that flag? They've got to be the Germans, right? They've got to be. So let's try and put some pressure on them. And the enemy is also bringing forward some artillery. I'm sure you guys can see that. We've got some artillery of our own. Fire! Give them a little surprise from the tree line. And we just killed the flag bearer. That was fantastic. Good shooting. And beautiful, guys. The cannons are firing. That's what I like to see. Again, our goal, though, is Friedman's Farm over everything else. So we may need to start maneuvering here pretty soon. Wait a minute. What is this guy doing over here? Ah, supply wagon and additional forces. Look at this, guys. Gonna move right to the back of the Hessians and kind of sandwich these units in. I love the look of this. So pretty. Immediately trying to get my guys in that tree line. Fire at will. We've got to move this guy up a bit. He's not doing anything simply because he is being blocked by other units. Enemy's going straight for the charge. Man! Got to get Gates over there. Gonna try to get set up over here with this unit, try and break that guy. But these Germans, man, they are not easy. They are tough to deal with. Trying to use that artillery effectively, but we need to get a bit closer, I think, for that to happen. And that means exposing this unit. Let's pull back General Gates. Look at that. An instant charge. That's what I was worried about. Although it seems that our men are holding off. Just barely. Yep, we've held. I want that artillery immediately firing at the Germans. They're going for another charge. This is intense, man. Well, see if we have any additional units here. So I'm going to grab all of these units and just immediately move behind gates. That is going to be our focus. We're turning this area into a hornet's nest. We're just trying to hold out as long as possible. But as for gates, we want to get them as much support as possible. We still want the enemy to think we've got a force here, so I am keeping that artillery right where it is and just going to pepper the enemy with shot. Look at how many men are down right there, guys. We need a medic or a surgeon or multiple surgeons. Is this on Steam? It is not currently on Steam. You can only get it on Exola, I think it's called. Exola. Field of Glory 2, American Revolution, and my dreams come true. How you doing, buddy? Yes, I'm very happy that it's here as well. And again, it is still in very early access. I want to be very transparent about that. We've already seen a few bugs ourselves. I feel like the British troops are a bit overly aggressive. Like, they're just constantly going for charges, which is a bit odd. There's just a few things that need to be worked on, but again, that's why it's in early access. They're still going for the charges, these bastards. We're still pushing through. Push right on through to Freeman's Farm. I want to immediately take those Germans out. Get them, get them. They're going for the charge. They know that if they get one volley, they're breaking. Again, why would a 31 charge a 50 and an 89? You know what I mean? Like, that's where I think there are some issues for sure with the AI. Otherwise, the AI is very impressive. Like, if you go for these strategic locations, they'll immediately start going back to try and stop you. I like that. We've got additional Patriots marching to our aid. It's probably going to be militia units, and it is indeed. But beggars can't be choosers. Let's start engaging these Germans. Not a lot of British troops at the end of this fight. It's mostly German mercenaries. Mostly Hessians. Oh, you dirty son of a bitch. And try to charge a wagon train. Turn back, see if we can stop him from doing that. Because he's going just for a direct charge on our artillery and on our resources. But I like seeing that these guys are breaking, man. We are managing to break those Germans. Look at them running from the forest. So pretty soon here, I think I might try... grab all these guys and just move them all at once. Just want to move to the edge of the farm there. But I am going to keep the artillery right where it is. I want it focusing over here, though. Let's turn those cannons around. One of our guys wanted to get one shot off at least at that group. Having just been attacked by them, of course, I can understand that. All right, come on, pushing through with the militia. I want the militia actually heading straight over to the location. Again, forcing the enemy to play by our rules and not the other way around. I will take one of the militia units here and assist with this British unit, or excuse me, this German unit. We've got the orange, we've got the Hessian caps. And they also look like they've got very good training. The Brits are over here, however. We do have some British units still fighting over here. Well, yeah. Straight from the tree lines, boys. The issue with the blocking is also definitely an indicator of something that needs to be worked on a little bit. Looks like a loss could be. We'll see. We'll see. How much time do we have? 42? We'll see. Yep. The enemy's got very good defenses over here. At least Gates is getting away. We want to stop those Hessians. We could. It's all down to the militia at this point, I think. It is definitely all down to the militia. Fire! Nice route there. But as you can see, they've got plenty of men left to defend the farm. All right, we did rout this unit. I mean, again, we're doing pretty good towards this last part of the battle. But there's not too much left. Well, 38... Actually, 38 could mean, like, 10 minutes, so who knows. Continue that fire, and let's just break this unit. I do agree, though, with Bostova. I think it definitely looks like it's going to be a loss. This would be a tough one to turn around, that's for sure. Bring Gates over here. Oh, they're getting awfully close to the cannons. Fire! Is there any way to change to shrapnel shot? I don't think so. Oh, yeah, that's definitely... Unless we get last-minute reinforcements, that's gotta be a loss. The British regulars have broken through. Now, what we can do, we can... first of all, we're gonna grab Gates. I don't want him getting captured by the British. Send him over here. But we can go ahead fast forward. Because I want to see the casualties, you know? I do like to look at the killed, the wounded, etc. Let's grab this. We've got a huge chunk of guys here. Just gonna push them forward. One last attempt. 15 seconds left. It's not enough to do anything, but nonetheless, I just want to move them into place here. Hold the line, boys. Oh, we got some additional militia here. We're just going to send him through. Keep harassing the enemy. Just look at the bodies left over. I really love that touch on these games. It looks like a painting. It really does. Like one of those old historical paintings. You held off to the end, boys. You were brave, but not effective. So there you go, guys. That's essentially a first look. We took a look at the campaign. We took a look at the battles at Ultimate General American Revolution. Like I said, there is a lot more that's going to be added. This is like super early access. I would say like alpha, pretty much. Maybe just barely a beta. And we've got naval battles. We didn't look at the naval battles. Those look incredible. But I really want to see where this game goes. Obviously, Ultimate General Civil War was incredible. It was a lot of fun. I want this to be similar. So we've got to give it a little bit of time to be finished, but man, is it fun. And there we go. The casualties on either side. The 41 missing, I'm guessing, is captured, if I'm not mistaken. But a fun little fight. A really fun game. I like the art style. I like the fighting in it. The gameplay. Again, there's a few things that need to be worked on. Like the AI is just instantly charges you, but besides that, man, this is really great. A special thanks to Maxim, to Nick and the guys that sent me a copy. I really couldn't do it without you guys, and I can't wait to see where this goes. Take care, guys. Make sure to hit that like, comment down below once the video uploads, and I really appreciate it. I bid you